Hey guys, it is Tuesday morning here in the Philippines, and as promised, we are doing the comparison of the Mini GT and Par 64 1987 RUF CTR Yellowbirds. And as you can see on the left, we have Mini GT, on the right, we have Par 64. So we'll start with our packaging because that does matter, the presentation of the vehicle and how they sell the vehicles to us. So overall, I think Par 64 wins it hands down. As you can see, it comes with a really nice acrylic display case, and you can display it in the box, never even have to open the vehicle, and it can display very nicely. And then if you do want to remove this, it's just a sleeve that slides off, and even the plastic cellophane that does come on it originally is just kind of a sleeve too that slides off. But you can leave all of that on and display it packaged. But the Mini GT, on the other hand, is encased in this box, and honestly, you have to open it to enjoy the model and such. And after you do that, you have to either display it in a display case, a brick rod, or something, or put it back in the box when you're not looking at the car and such. So that is kind of inconvenient. So obviously, I'm going to say Par 64 wins it with their packaging. Now, when it comes to the cars themselves, that's a little different. So let's zoom in slightly here, and we'll take a look at these both. So looking at the two cars in person, you can see this a little bit better than you can on the video. There is a shade difference in the color. The Par 64 is slightly lighter than the Mini GT. The Mini GT, I think, is a little more accurate with the shading, but it's really even hard to tell in the pics and videos online of the one-to-one car. So that's the problem. It's kind of hard to tell on the shade of the car. So maybe even all the cars were not accurately shaded correctly, and some of them may have had little like shade variants. But anyways, the Mini GT seems to be more accurate with the paint color. Now, the overall dimensions of the car. Mini GT is slightly smaller than Para in every aspect. The width, the girth, meaning up and down, and the length seems to be almost the same. Maybe Para is slightly longer, but not much at all. The width and the girth is where Para is bigger on the Mini GT. And looking at them side by side, I would say the Mini GT looks more accurate. And the Para, the A-pillars look a little high in the rake of the windshield. Looks a little bit different than the Mini GT. So the body of the Mini GT is better. Now looking at the bases are obviously a little bit different. As you can see, the Para does look wider than the Mini GT. But the Mini GT wins because it is metal, whereas the Para is plastic. The details on the Mini GT are much more defined with the transaxle and the rear suspension and such. It is like three-dimensional compared to the Para, which is just one-dimensional. Well, maybe it is a little 3D, but not much at all. Then the tires on the Para are just basic rubber with no tread, kind of mimicking slicks, but I don't think they were going for that. I just think they got cheap and did not put tread on the tires, whereas Mini GT did. Now, the diameter of the wheels, this is where Para wins, I think. If you look online at the real car seems to have a larger diameter wheel than what like Mini GT is replicating here. It fills the wheel opening more. There's more wheel than there is tire in the real one-to-one car if you look online. I would say Para is more accurate with the wheel diameter. And I know the girth of the car is thicker, so their wheel diameter probably had to make up for that girth. But when doing this, it kind of made it more accurate with the real diameter of the wheel. and such, but I don't think either one of them really nailed the offset of the wheel correctly. I think the rear wheel on the real car is more deep dish than what they're replicating here. But Mini GT did a little bit more offset on the rear than the front, as you can see, whereas the Para kind of is the same all around. So still yet the wheels go to Para. Then the overall details of the front and such are nice on both models. Then the mirrors, they both did the 935, I think it's 935 Porsche mirrors. And I would say Mini GT is a little better because the way they're mounted is more like realistic and it looks better. Whereas the Para, they look good, but the mounting part is not as, I guess, smooth as like what the Mini GTs are. The rear detail and such is pretty much the same on both. They both have acrylic. They have the louver detail in the rear bumper cover. They have the exhaust outlets and stuff. But as you can see, overall, like the thickness of the Para is much greater than the Mini GT and such. So, and going by like the Schuko 911s that I've had, they are pretty much built like the Mini GT, where they almost look a little too small, but they're not. They are actually pretty accurate after looking at the Mini GT stuff. And I would say that overall, Mini GT wins it on this one, guys. So that is our review of the RUF Yellowbird CTR for Mini GT and Power 64, both great models. And going by price, Mini GT is around $10, Power is around $12. So Mini GT is the better value because it's the better model, but as I said, the presentation of the box and the display case goes to Power 64, and that may be where the extra money comes in. But Para did chintz on some stuff on the car, such as it has a plastic base, and they didn't detail a tread on the tires and things like this. So some stuff they did chintz on with the model, probably to make up for the cost of the display box. So I would rather see it encased in a regular cardboard box with a metal chassis and all that stuff, instead of having this acrylic display case. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents on both cars. I will be back again tomorrow, guys, with another Mini GT video. And we have a lot of Mini GT stuff coming up this week. Maybe enough to last us to the new year, but we may have a Hot Wheels Premium, 1 or 2 slipped in there. So I appreciate you guys watching. So take care, guys, and until tomorrow.